Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover. We are starting with the PlayStation 5 Pro because we have more leaks and more information about this mid-gen refresh console to go over and discuss here. And so one of the more important things we're going to be extracting from these topics today is the fact that this console is still on track to release in 2024. The reason why I emphasize this is because in the last few days there was some conversation happening that maybe hinted towards this console maybe not actually releasing this year and releasing maybe in 2025. But we're going to start here with the actual first PS5 Pro game leaking out. Now, I'm going to let you know right up front, it's just a bunch of code, and we're not going to go over all of the code here, but it does confirm that games are in the process of being PS5 Pro enhanced. I think at this point, everybody believes that the PS5 Pro is real and that it's going to be coming. But now we have like the final proof before the actual reveal itself, you know, other than actually seeing the console leak out, that yes, this is a real thing that developers are working with right now. And the first game is actually No Man's Sky. We have that Bomber Boy over on Twitter saying No Man's Sky spoilers, graphics preset options for Trinity, which is the apparent internal code name for the PS5 Pro, standard PS5 graphics preset for comparison. Now, obviously, we're not going to go over everything in this image, but essentially we are looking at a comparison. Here's what they've done so far on the PS5 Pro versus, you know, what you expect when it comes to No Man's Sky on the base PS5. That this is leaked code, as in if they are working on an upgraded version of No Man's Sky for the PS5 Pro, it's not finished. They're literally in the process of doing it now. So what we are seeing is not representative or indicative of the final upgrade we will see for something like No Man's Sky on the PS5 Pro. Other people have also pointed out that No Man's Sky is a PS4 game. And so, you know, the expectation may be a little bit reduced because of that. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that notion because, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see other PS4 games get PS5 Pro enhanced that will do quite a bit. But yeah, when you have something like this leak out, obviously people are going to kind of jump to the conclusion that, well, based off of this leaked code that I'm seeing here, it tells me the PS5 Pro is completely useless and shouldn't have been made. And I get that. But again, we do have to look at this for what it actually is, not the final update where, you know, we're having Sony come out and say, here's the PS5 Pro enhanced version of No Man's Sky. And so, yeah, I don't know that anybody expected this to be like the first game that leaked out, confirmed being developed for Trinity or the PS5 Pro. But if you're wondering when it comes to the graphical resolution of this, what the increase looks like, we have Zubitech over on X, and he says the first PS5 Pro codename Trinity graphics settings spotted better water quality and minimum dynamic resolution of 1728p rather than 1296p, which is about 77% more pixels on the lowest. So again, this is early. This is not the final patch, but even just looking at what we see here, it seems to be doing you know, quite a decent job at uplifting the overall dynamic resolution. So we'll see what else we end up discovering in the coming weeks, because we have to be getting very close to the launch of the PS5 Pro. But continuing to talk about the PS5 Pro, we have another leak. Now, this one is extremely technical, and I'm not going to go very deep into it. I'm just basically going to let you know that apparently there are going to be RDNA4 ray tracing features implemented into the PS5 Pro. This was actually confirmed by Kepler over on X, another leaker. And they say here some of the new ray tracing features coming with GFX 12/RDNA4. Most, if not all of these, should be in the PS5 Pro too. Double ray tracing intersect engine, ray tracing instance node transform, 64B RT node, ray tracing tri-pair optimization, change flags encoded in barycentrics to simplify detection of procedural nodes, BVH, footprint improvement, RT support for OBB, and instance node intersection. Now, if you were to ask me what does any of that mean, I have absolutely no idea, but I can only assume it means we're going to get some really good ray tracing potential with the PS5 Pro, which is not too surprising. This lines up with earlier leaks where we heard that there was like basically a potential 4 times increase in ray tracing for the PS5 Pro. Now, look, I don't know how many people really care about ray tracing at this point. I will say that if we look back at some of the earlier PS5 games like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Spider-Man, remastered, and Miles Morales, they did a really good job at implementing ray tracing, and it was actually quite impressive, and I think some people really liked it. So the fact that we're going to have this console come out and it's going to be able to do basically 4 times that, hopefully without sacrificing too much performance, I think that's kind of the key here. It could be pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see what we end up getting here. But yeah, basically further confirmation that not only is this console real, it's in the hands of developers, but RDNA4 is going to be part of the PS5 Pro. Now, moving on to the next topic regarding the PS5 Pro here, and this one's somewhat important if you're, well, actually, I'd say it's really important if you're somebody who's actually looking forward to this console. Again, there were some rumblings across the internet the past couple of days that maybe this console was going to get internally delayed. And I know what people are thinking: how can a product that hasn't even been officially announced yet get delayed? It's called an internal delay, where they were actually targeting a specific date internally, such as, say, holiday 2024, but due to certain circumstances, they internally delay it and they push it back to like March 2025 or something like that. But this is being reported by Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, the most reliable source when it comes to the PS5 Pro. Says the latter half of 2024 is finally here, and questions have begun to emerge a lot more frequently about the PlayStation 5 Pro's future. Is it still happening? Will the PS5 Pro be released in 2024? When will the console be revealed? Admittedly, the more recent discussions about the PS5 Pro missing its holiday 2024 release have been fueled by my own tweet. People understandably took it as a relatively passive comment, as if it was implying the Pro would miss its holiday 2024 release or be canceled entirely, but that isn't the case as of the time of this writing. Developers can submit their applications supporting the PS5 Pro to CertOps, the Platform Certification and Operations, on July 30th, a date understood to have been finalized as far back as 18 months ago. In addition, all applications for PlayStation 5 games that will be released after September 15th will be required to support the PlayStation 5 Pro. This does not mean the PS5 Pro will release on September 16th, so although it's not an exact release date, the information which was released by PlayStation earlier this week to developers suggests that the PlayStation 5 Pro is still on track to be released this year. Documents sent to me mid-2023 showed the PlayStation 5 Pro release date, which, if memory serves me correctly, was in the latter half of November of 2024. Despite the Pro seemingly being on track, several sources have been apprehensive about the console's release later this year, primarily due to the limited number of first-party games that will use its features. However, regarding documentation, 90 to 95% of my reporting involves documentation sources. Nothing implies the PS5 Pro has been delayed or canceled. Officially, PlayStation have yet to acknowledge the existence of the PS5 Pro publicly. Still, developers are working hard behind the scenes on the PS5 development kits, with PS5 Pro testing kits also being distributed this spring. As for when the PS5 Pro will be announced, it will likely fall in line with the PlayStation 4 Pro marketing announcements, which saw the console announced in September. As many people in the community pointed out, Sony is set to be at Tokyo Game Show, or TGS, in September, making it the first time the company has been at the show in 5 years. If the PS5 Pro is announced at the event, it remains to be seen, but I speculate that Sony/PlayStation could be at the show to talk about the Pro and its features and reveal it earlier in the month instead. So, yeah, this is a pretty, I'd say, good update from Tom Henderson, where he can't give an exact reveal date, but he is saying that new documentation was sent out basically a week and a half ago to developers when it comes to certification and submitting their games for that, for the PS5 Pro, and also the requirement where the deadline is going to be September 16th, where all games going forward are going to have to support the PS5 Pro. Yeah, it pretty much confirms this thing is still coming this November. But obviously there is this kind of concern where it's like, will there be enough at the launch of the PS5 Pro, enough games that is, to really entice people, to really make people feel like this console is going to be worth it. It's justified. It makes sense. It's probably going to be more expensive than the PS5, maybe $600 or something like that, maybe even more, depending. So in order for this console to really stand out, it's going to have some good software support. And so obviously there's all the rumors still about, or speculation, I should say, not necessarily rumors, about Sony maybe having some kind of event in September. It is true they're attending Tokyo Game Show, but there's no way, in my opinion, that Sony would reveal the PS5 Pro at Tokyo Game Show. It's very likely they would give it its own little event and reveal prior. But yeah, this is the latest we're hearing about the PS5 Pro, guys. We have the first game that's supporting it leaking out, that being No Man's Sky. We're finding out that RDNA4 is in fact going to be part of the PS5 Pro, and it's going to come in the form of like ray tracing improvements. And we're also getting further confirmation from Tom Henderson once again that as of right now, the console's still on track for a November 2024 release, but maybe there's a little bit of concern about how many games are really going to be supporting this console when it launches. But guys, that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.